Hello, my name is Kyoko Marquez, and today I'll present my literature assessment and a research question for Policy 700. I focus on the Smithsonian Institution Act of 1846 and its influence on Japanese American education policy through funding mechanisms. Across the literature, four major themes emerge. My first theme is federal initiatives and the gatekeeping theory. Scholars such as Pamela Henson, Dr. Steve Luber, and Peter Leibold show how the Smithsonian Act positioned federal institutions to use gatekeeping strategies and historical case studies, shaping American visibility in democracy since the progressive era through arts and technology. Second theme is strategic partnership through participatory pedagogy. Dr. Christy E. Lowe highlights the very limited resources on Japanese American history, while Lowe, Dr. Andrea Kim Neighbors, and Liz Kleinrock show how asset-based framing to counter invisibility. Anthony Platt adds a remapping strategy across racial equality movement, and Dr. Alex Paul contributes coalition building and feminist archival analysis to correct the historical narratives. Third, in comparative funding system, Henson and Ritterbusch show how museum education expands funding. Dr. Tiffany Yep links psychology and identity to policy practice, while Platt and Paul emphasize coalition strategies, and Leibold calls for transparent safeguard. My fourth theme is educational leadership. Japanese American leaders advance participatory pedagogy, feminist archival frameworks, and intersectional approaches. Lowe and Dr. Shipu Wang critiques neutral identities in art, and Paul and Dr. Shirley Frank show how feminist archival strategies reshape funding and policy. Platt adds comparative racial equality frameworks through affirmation action. Across the literature, several common assumptions guide Japanese American educational equity. Federal institutions of Smithsonian Act involving gatekeeping theory to form cultural and historical narratives. Scholars emphasize asset-based framing and participatory pedagogy, showing that the visibility and shared stewardship justified social justice. Co-created projects are seen as strategies to correct misrepresentation and advance democratic cultural authority. Finally, coalition building strategies and the feminist movement highlights its effective outcome for equity. The literature employs diverse methodologies, including historical case studies, empirical social science, participatory museum pedagogy, and comparative advocacy frameworks, which promote history, psychology, pedagogy, and advocacy in advancing Japanese American education. Despite these contributions, key weaknesses remain. There is little empirical validation of Smithsonian outcomes, limited interdisciplinary integration, and insufficient analysis of funding mechanisms. Finally, the literature often overgeneralizes Asian American experiences, obscuring the distinct reality of Japanese Americans. Future research should use asset-based framing involving participatory pedagogy theory to highlight resilience rather than deficit narratives. It should also employ cross-disciplinary strategies that combine psychology, history, and pedagogy. In addition, future studies need to link gatekeeping theory for educational resource distribution directly to funding equity to ensure measurable policy outcome of Japanese American educational communities. Key sources shaping this field include Henson's historical accounts of the Smithsonian, Luber's work on cultural diplomacy, Lowe's participatory pedagogy model, and Paul's feminist archival framework. In sum, they illustrate how cultural diplomacy, coalition strategies, comparative advocacy framework, and advocacy framework inform Japanese American educational advancement. Based on these insights, I propose following policy-related research question. What effect has the Smithsonian Act on educational funding for the Japanese American population? In conclusion, the literature highlights the Smithsonian's role in shaping Japanese American educational advancement, but also reveals critical gaps in empirical validation, interdisciplinary approaches, and funding analysis. My research question seeks to bridge these gaps by connecting representation to tangible policy outcomes. Thank you.